Here's a walkthrough of what we've been doing up here in REB Studios. Well, we've ripped down all of these walls. We've ripped out that wall. In the control room over here, we've ripped out that wall, which is now that inset that'll have a couch and stuff, and kind of built that closet. You can see how messy it is right now. I mean, this is just from basically today and yesterday. I clean it as much as I can. And then this used to be a closet door right here, and then a huge long closet all the way down to that door. It's basically useless. So we knocked it out and we put in this beam. This will have an outlet. You can see it kind of tucked in there on this side and on that side. And then right here, eventually, we'll build a wall with a big sliding door that will allow us to put the drums back there and isolate them from the rest of the space pretty well. And that's why there's a second window there, so that I'll be able to see into that room. Then in here, we're going to have this weird little open space. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it, but it'll probably be storage. Might put cables and stuff on the side with big hooks or something. You got to figure that out still. And then this little room, which will be walled off and heavily insulated and stuff, is going to be actually an amp isolation room. So the idea is you can have a couple amps in there and really crank up the level, and it'll isolate that room. So we'll have a floating floor in there. We'll have insulation, this type of stuff, all in the ceiling and stuff to keep the heat down when those amps are running, which I've also got behind all of these walls. And then you'll have probably 2 or 3 mics in there that you can run an amp really, really loud, or have the head in the control room here and then run the line into a cabinet in there. Right here, this was a place where we thought we needed to support the roof, so that's going to end up being a shelf, hopefully, with like headphone distribution on both sides of it there somehow. Haven't quite figured out the details on that. The organs are going to move. One of them will go in the control room. The other one will go in the corner by the drum booth there underneath the glass. The isolation booth is all drywalled, mudded, and sanded. It's looking pretty slick. I think we got that fitting in there real well. And then we've done these nice rounded corners here, which I think will look real nice once we get them all painted. There will be an outlet here, or a light switch here, outlets down there. And that light switch will eventually hang a light in the ceiling here. It's got some track lighting we'll put in. So a bunch of track lighting we'd like to add. And then this will be the control room. And this room is like, right now, even 10 degrees, maybe 6 degrees cooler than that room because of the orientation of the house and the sun. You can see it coming in through the windows. So thus, the idea of putting in, as much as I can, reflective insulation in those walls. There's already insulation and 2 sets of 2x4s in those walls. There's the exterior set, the original drywall, another set of 2x4s, reflective insulation, and then this drywall here, which still needs to be mudded and sanded. Then, of course, we've got the kitchen, which was a big remodeling project 2 years ago, and will become once again a hangout instead of a storage room for all the stuff that was originally in here. So that's where we're at. Lots of walls, lots of debris from construction has been moved down. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be putting in troughs that will run all of the cables from the control room to all the various spaces we need it. I can walk through that real quick. So in the control room, in that corner on the other side of the glass is where my main patch bay is going to end up, in a rack, this rack probably for now. It's all going to be 1/4 inch balanced, and that's going to come out through the wall down here for digital drums and any vocals for a live rehearsal or whatever that are just in the middle of the room, or if someone really just wants to rock out, there will be some XLR available inputs for that, as well as headphone feeds. Then on the inside of the control room, it'll go up and then punch through this wall. And this is kind of where a lot of cables are going to end up running from. We're going to punch through this wall and go all the way over to there, through that wall, around the chimney and down. And then that's going to be Guitar World over here. And then we'll just probably run cables along the ground over there for the visual computer setup for rehearsing live stuff in a big, powerful PC that we've built specifically for those needs. Also from this point, we're going to punch through and then go all the way along this wall and then down. And this will be the Blizzle setup and control center. And then from there, we're going to run all the way along that wall to there. And there will be a big 70-inch TV probably here. And we'll continue probably down the wall and punch through. There will be speakers mounted eventually up there in here for playback of the control room mix, stuff like that. This is not a door yet, but it will eventually be hung. And that's the main part of our routing in here. So a huge snakehead is going to end up right here in the middle of the floor. That will be for keyboard world, Blizzle world, bass world. Another setup is there for digital drums. I don't know why it's out of focus all of a sudden. And middle stuff. Another setup back here for guitar and visual computers. And then the vocal isolation booth will also have cable troughs, that setup that's on the other side of the wall going up and then over that door and then down and punched into the vocal booth. And then for the drum booth over here, we're just going to run them on the other side of the wall along and punch through the back there into the vocal booth and then just run cables along the floor and do a little mouse hole into that amp ISO area. And that's, I think, it as far as running cables. There's also going to be cables that go up into the ceiling and out into the kitchen. And very possibly, if I can figure out how to do it, I'm going to run stuff down through the wall to the basement and this floor. And then I'm also going to be running Ethernet and distribution so that hopefully all of the computers that are up here will be able to just plug directly in instead of using wireless and stuff, Wi-Fi, internet. Monitor-wise, I could walk through all of that briefly, but essentially there's going to be several monitors all mirroring lyrics. So in here you'll have a lyrics monitor, vertical monitor, duplicated from a monitor here on my main machine. And also probably here we'll have another monitor that has lyrics. I got to figure out, this might be too, this is for the thermostat, which I accidentally turned on earlier. It's still hot. There'll be another one there. We will also have duplication of one of the monitors there, as well as USB keyboard and mouse for me to be out in the main room controlling playback systems for our live show work. We will also have the Chandra machine, which is our visual machine. We'll probably run some cables and punch them through the vocal booth and along the ground, punch through. I don't know exactly. That one's really annoying. And then there will be a second small setup with like a monitor and stuff here so that we can work on visuals and be in a different room and talk and stuff that's a little quieter. So we'll have duplicate monitors there as well. All in all, it ends up being 14 monitors total around the space, and that's a lot. But it's what we need to make this live show happen, rehearsals happen, and run this as a professional recording studio, which it's going to be very soon. Getting it done.